Now, load shedding is one of the things that we've been experiencing for some time in South Africa. I mean, this is one of the things that, ladies and gents, not only is it hurting consumers, but it is hurting businesses from small to big, which is something that obviously is a concern. And those of you that have been following for some time, you'll know that we have discussed this a couple of times, trying to show you what load shedding does and why you need to care as a retail investor, because these, ladies and gents, it also has a huge impact on the revenues that companies are generating on a month to month. I mean, few weeks ago or few months ago, we read news of saying that Sibanye-Stillwater, which is one of the biggest mining companies in SA, indicated that due to load shedding, they might have to cut some of their production or cut production in their operations, which is one of the things that must just show you that this load shedding, ladies and gents, it is having a huge impact even on big businesses. And with some small businesses, you already know that so many businesses, we've been hearing them complaining, some are shutting down due to this load shedding, which is seriously hurting our economy and making, of course, a country like South Africa to, of course, shrink in terms of GDP, or will make the GDP to shrink. I mean, we've heard from so many analysts. I mean, Nedbank also a few months ago, they did indicate that obviously due to this load shedding, they are also reducing, of course, the GDP forecast for the rest of the year, which is one of the things that, ladies and gents, the fact that we've been seeing, or we're continuing to experience this load shedding in the country, it is one of the things that must just show you that companies' revenue are going to be impacted, companies' production is going to be impacted, which is something that, ladies and gents, to me, it's a serious concern as a retail investor, which is why it has been that kind of a thing that makes me to obviously, or one of the reasons that makes me to seriously, of course, take a chunk of my money, or a huge chunk of my money, and go invest into US stocks, because locally I know that there's quite number of concerns or quite number of things that are impacting, or that will have impact on the companies which are publicly listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, which you and me are investing in as retail investors. So this is one of the reasons that, ladies and gents, makes me to be fearful, doubtful for now in some companies locally, because I know that they are going to really feel the heat when you look at this load shedding. Now, without going any further, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. Now, I really appreciate if you can just hit the likes button, comment and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. So I would really appreciate if you can just hit the likes button, as it also helps with YouTube's algorithm. So yes, load shedding is one of the main things that makes me not to obviously put a chunk of my money, or big chunk of my money into local stocks, because like I said, this issue, not only does it have a huge impact on obviously you and me as consumers, but it also has a huge impact on businesses. I mean, if you are a social media person, I'm sure you have read a story somewhere of a small business person maybe closing their business or losing a lot of money in their business due to load shedding. I mean, if big companies like Sibanye-Stillwater, if big mining companies are feeling the heat from this load shedding, or what more harm can this load shedding bring to small businesses? It means that small businesses are really seriously feeling the heat, which is something that is a concern. And like I said, the fact that, of course, I don't see any plan that maybe the government might have being implemented and working, I'm not really that comfortable putting my money, or a chunk of my money, into SA stocks, because, ladies and gents, this will, like I said, affect the revenues that the companies locally can generate. And not only that, it will also increase their expenses, because those that have alternatives, or those that have maybe backup generators, they end up spending more money into, of course, fueling the generators, bringing power through their other alternative power supplies. But this, in a nutshell, it also hurts, or it makes their expenses to be more, which is one of the things that, yeah, it will hurt companies it will hurt small businesses. It is going to continue hurting the consumers. And I think until I see a clear solution being implemented and working, for now, I'm still a bit hesitant maybe to put my money or put a chunk of my money into local stocks or local ETFs for that matter, because either way, even ETFs, they are tracking companies that are listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, which is why me right now, my priority, I would really want to say it's in the US markets, because there the economy is stronger. The economy, of course, it will recover much quicker. Yes, there are possibilities of a recession, but I personally believe that it's not the first time we are seeing the US going to a recession. They have been through a recession, and they've, of course, seen themselves coming out of recession. So even if we have to go to recession, I'll continue loading the boat there, because, ladies and gents, this is the time where most money are made in the stock market. Those of you that are loading the boat, increasing their holdings onto their stocks, are definitely going to be rewarded. Yes, locally, I mean, also looking at this load shedding, when it fades away, there are so many companies that are still going to do very well locally. And even now, I still feel that there are few companies that can still strive regardless of this load shedding. But most of the companies, I can tell you that they are going to struggle, at least because of this load shedding. They are going to struggle to produce the kind of numbers they were producing without load shedding, and they are going to struggle to meet the demand maybe that they might have when it comes to products, because they won't be producing much. So load shedding, to me, it's one of the serious things that, of course, other than the other things that I told you as to why I invest into the US stock markets, this is one of the main concerns. But if you want to hear more other things as to why, of course, I like investing into the US, watch this video up here, because here I was showing you or explaining one of the reasons why a lot of my money is in the US, or a lot of a huge chunk of my portfolio is in the New York Stock Exchange, which, like I said, I would really recommend that you go watch it, because there I pour my heart out as to, or indicating why I like investing into the US stock market. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought that you just give a reminder to those maybe that are investing, to say that you need to think about some of these things, because yes, part of the company doing well, it's dependent on how the economy is performing. And the way it looks in South Africa, not only are we having inflation very high, but we've got inflation, we've got, of course, this load shedding, which, ladies and gents, like I said, it is a concern. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I should just give you this quick updates or quick maybe thoughts about what I think about load shedding and what am I doing when it comes to investing in the stock market. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I make tons and tons of stock market investing videos, and if you think that this video was amazing, please don't forget to hit the like button, comment and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click the notification bell, so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, before you load the boat to increase your holdings or buy any other stock or ETF, maybe it is wise that you do your own due diligence, so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing onto the stock market. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.